There are a lot of mechanics that are extremely important to learn as a Rocket League player. For low levels, the half flip is the one that stands out when I think of essential mechanics. But when you start to get to the higher levels of Rocket League, from Champ to GC to even SSL, there are so many different mechanics that are essential to learn for your improvement. 45 and 90 degree flicks are insanely effective in one-on-one situations. And even more recently, flip resets have been becoming more and more common. Even in Grand Champ level, I see flip resets a lot more than you would think. However, there is one mechanic that on the surface doesn't seem that useful, but the higher up the ranks you get, the more situations you see it being used, and that is the speed flip. Now I too thought that the speed flip wasn't that useful. In the past, I thought it was only used on kickoffs, and since there were many easier alternatives to kickoffs, I never put the time into practicing it until I hit around GC1. Around here, I started to realize that my kickoffs were inadequate, and I would find myself losing a lot of goals to them. However, very recently, I've been watching a lot of high-level players and pros, and they use the speed flip in many different ways, and that's what I want to talk about. So the first and the most common way in which everyone uses the speed flip is the kickoff. The first time I discovered the speed flip was a video from Musty, where he essentially showed himself using the speed flip kickoff in 1v1. And every time he got the speed flip correct, he was absolutely destroying the kickoff. After that video, it was clear that this speed flip was superior to every other way of flipping in Rocket League. The speed flip is the fastest way to get to supersonic, as your car is always facing forward. This means that when you boost, none of it will be wasted on going sideways. Now option 2 is just in general moving around the field. A lot of players, especially lower ranked players, love to front flip around the field, and the reason this makes you slower is because when you front flip, a long period of time your car is facing backwards, so that means when you hold boost, you'll actually slow down for half of the duration you're front flipping. However, when you speed flip, you can boost all the way, so it's a much faster way to flip, and it's also more boost efficient. Now option 3 is a very minor situation, and only really for freestylers and or high level players, and this is that it is used when trying to get multiple flip resets. And I know that this doesn't apply for most of you guys, but I still wanted to at least mention it. Flip resets are getting more and more common the further down in the ranks, and I personally believe they're a must-learn mechanic if your dream is to play at the highest level. When double flip resets first used to start getting popular, people used what was called a stalled reset, but it was too slow and most of the time you couldn't pull it off in high level lobbies. However, when you use the speed flip, you can do something called the no stall double reset, which is much quicker and much more effective in actual games. So even though most people won't be learning to double flip reset, soon in the future, they will be so common that maybe you'll even see them in your ranked games. Now the last option to use speed flips, I only really discovered this recently, even though it's been in high level play for such a long time, and that is using speed flips in the air, usually off the walls or the backboard. But speed flips are used to reach a ball that's far off the wall, meaning it's far towards the middle of the field. And you might ask me, why can't you just use any flip? And my answer to you is that any other flip won't let you reach as far to the ball compared to the amount of boost you have. And also the more important reason, the speed flip is the only flip that allows you to keep control of the ball and continue to make a play. It's no good just touching the ball only to give the ball away and now you're just floating for a couple of seconds. Instead, you want to keep control of the ball and be able to make a play, whether that's a 50, a flip reset, anything like that. And the speed flip is what allows you to do that. Now there are many good reasons and why I think it's important to learn the speed flip. However, today I'm only going to be going through the most common one, and that is the kickoffs. But first, I'm going to teach you how to speed flip in 2 different ways. Okay, so there are 2 ways to speed flip. There's the original way, and then there's the easier way that uses directional arrow. And depending on your key bindings, you might want to learn either one. So first, I'll teach you the original way. What you essentially are going to be doing is diagonal flipping to the left or the right, depending on which way you want to speed flip. If you want to speed flip left, you aim your joystick to the top left, and vice versa. Once you're used to the diagonal flip, you're going to want to flip cancel it. And if you watch my half flip video, you would know how to do this. All you need to do is cancel a flip by holding your joystick the complete opposite direction just after you flip. But for a speed flip, instead of flip cancelling the opposite direction, you want to cancel the speed flip by holding down on the joystick. So, for example, if you want to speed flip to the left, you diagonal flip to the left, then immediately hold your joystick down. And when you do this, you'll notice that your car doesn't flip all the way over. So in a speed flip to the left, your car ends a little tilted to the right. So what you're going to have to do is hold your free arrow button and drag your joystick from the down position towards the bottom left. And this is so your car can land on all 4 wheels. And I know this sounds confusing, but once you break it down in steps, it will feel a lot more simple. So for a left speed flip, your joystick movement goes from the top left to down, then drag towards the bottom left. And obviously for the right speed flip, it would be top right, down, bottom right. But remember to hold down free arrow when you start to drag your joystick to the bottom right or left. And also to add, it's important to learn speed flip both ways, especially for kickoffs because there are different kickoffs that require different speed flips. Now for the second and easier way to speed flip, you need to have a directional arrow binded. You should probably have at least one directional arrow binded anyway, however for this specific mechanic it helps if you have 2, but it's not essential. So as I said for the first tutorial, you need this diagonal flip, and at times it's hard to get that perfect diagonal flip. However, when you hold a directional arrow, when you front flip, it does the diagonal flip for you. So the easier way to speed flip is to hold directional arrow, front flip, then cancel it and drag to the bottom left or bottom right while holding free arrow. So for a speed flip to the right, hold arrow right, front flip, hold your joystick straight down, then hold free arrow and drag your joystick towards the bottom right. Now if you feel like you're having trouble with getting correct and you're not sure whether you're getting it right, there are a couple ways that will help you understand if you're doing it right or not. Now if you're on PC, there is actually a Backismod plugin that's called the Speedflip plugin, and all this does is literally tell you whether or not you're speed flipping correctly. It has to be used with that Musty training pack where you have to speed flip to hit the ball. It tells you whether you're flipping in the right direction, if you're flipping fast enough, and basically just tells you how to correct your speed flip. However, if you're a console player, you can still use the training pack without the Backismod plugin, because you physically cannot reach the ball in time if you do not speed flip. So my advice is to start with free play, get used to the controls and the inputs, and then when you feel like you've got the hang of it, go to this training pack and just sit in there until you feel like you're hitting the ball consistently. Now once you are consistent, it's time to move to the kickoffs. Okay, to help with my kickoff tutorial, I'm going to be showing you a few clips from a recent 1v1 game from pro player Apparently Jack. And if you don't know about Apparently Jack, he is one of the best 1v1 players in the world, so you know his kickoffs are going to be insane. Now looking at AppJack's kickoff, he uses the left speed flip for all of them, however when it comes to the back right kickoff, he uses the speed flip to the right. But it's fine because I'll go through each kickoff anyways. To begin, we will start with the kickoff in the middle. This is because you can go whichever way. So Jack grabs the first pad, turns a little to the right, and speed flips into the second pad while holding boost. He lands before the third pad with 9 boost and is supersonic. As you are supersonic already, you don't need to use any more boost. So after grabbing the third pad, Jack has 21 boost as he hits the ball. And this part is important. Most lower ranks use all their boost in these kickoffs, and they have no boost to recover or score after the kickoff. So it's important you stop boosting once you hit supersonic. With the right speed flip, it's the same, however instead of turning right at the start, you would turn left. Now moving on to the corners, I'm going to be talking about doing it with the left speed flip, but that just means you must do the opposite with the right speed flip. So starting with the left corner, you boost straight, and as soon as you grab the boost pad, you turn slightly right and speed flip while boosting through the whole time and flip into the ball after landing. The corner kickoffs are the only kickoffs where you have to use all your boost, otherwise you won't be supersonic when you land or flip into the ball. From the right corner, you pretty much do the same, but you want to turn slightly more to the right before you speed flip. This is so that you get a straight course right to the center of the ball. Now for the back right and back left kickoffs, this is where it's helpful to learn both speed flips. Starting with the back right kickoff, you want to boost slightly towards the first pad, turn right, and then speed flip to the left, boosting all the way through. Once you land at the second pad, you should be supersonic, so you want to let go of boost and just flip into the kickoff. However, with the back left kickoff, Jack uses the speed flip right for the first time, and basically he does the exact opposite of the back right. Boosts towards the pad, turns slightly left, and then speed flips to the right, boosting through to the second pad. Kickoffs can be very difficult to get consistent with. There's a lot of minor execution needed to get a strong kickoff. There are key points you want to know to make sure your kickoff is solid, and those are that you should be supersonic as you're about to flip into the ball, and you want to hit the ball as central as possible and also as goal side as possible. Hitting the ball too low means the ball could bounce right over your head, Hitting it too high could cause the ball to go under you, meaning the ball goes too far away from you to recover and save the ball. Also, if you're not hitting the ball goal side enough, the ball could fly past you and cause you to forfeit possession and possibly concede. So as long as you try and keep these points consistent, your kickoff should be solid enough to win or neutralize the ball. Speed flipping is a surprisingly difficult mechanic to get consistent, especially when going for a kickoff. Even now, there are still many times when I mess it up. However, if you work on it enough and get consistent, I promise you it's worth it. Maybe it won't get you from diamond to champ, but it's little things like this that separates the high level players from the rest of us. Just using speed flips in situations mentioned just make your touches more cleaner and your overall gameplay much smoother. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and I hope you learned something from it. Please drop any feedback in the comments. I love reading and replying to people in the comment section. And I want to give a huge thank you for getting me to 1,000 subscribers. I started YouTube and I honestly didn't think I'd get as much support as I did. And also because of you, I got my own epic creator code. So if you want to support me even more, use creator code OneEyedGhoul with no spaces when you buy something from the Rocket League store. But that's all for now. I'll see you guys next time.